What's up, everybody?
Hello!
Welcome to Movie Boners. I'm thinking important episode today because it's a promise long made and finally kept.
Yep. I can't believe we remembered to do it.
That's true. Rarely does that happen where we remember something we said we would do at one point.
Yeah.
But in our very first episode, we made our top 10 action adventure movies. We were bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and very young and naive. And it was a good episode. It was a fun episode for sure. But I think we realized and also got feedback afterwards that was a little silly because there's so many good action movies. To fit them both, action and adventure, on one list is limiting and a challenge.
Yeah. And it didn't help that most of our lists were adventure in general. So, yeah.
Right. Right. So it kind of gave action the shaft there a little bit. So we said that we would split them up. And I think maybe last year, it was a while now that we redid our top 10 action movies. And so that has been properly corrected. But we said that we would do adventure eventually. And so we figured, well, no time like the present. If we're going to do it, we got to do it now.
We kind of have to do it now.
Yeah, do it before the show ends. So today we're doing our top 10 adventure movies of all time.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. But before we get into that, let's check in on a couple of housekeeping things.
There's
First
one
of
housekeeping
all,
thing we don't need. We don't need it.
Well, it's important to know that you had a major motion picture come out in the movie draft.
I did.
Wicked 2,
And
Wicked
so
for
did
Good.
you.
So did I, yes. Wicked 2, oh, by the way, here's where we're at. Nothing has changed statistically necessarily. Where I am approaching the $4 billion mark. You recently crossed the $3 billion mark. Your IMDb, or my IMDb my IMDb rating is climbing.
I know.
Particularly because I've had good movies released recently. Your box office is climbing faster than mine, though, at this point. So it is possible to catch up.
Yeah, but Zootopia 2 is apparently amazing.
Yeah, Wicked 2 came out. Critics did not like Wicked 2, but audiences love it, which is understandable. It's already at $327 million after being out for a week at this point. Zootopia is out for a few days, 3 days, and is already at $233 million. And critics gave it a 91 and audiences gave it a 96. So everyone agrees Zootopia 2 is great. And The Running Man, I think last time sort of talked about The Running Man, but not really. It recently come out. It's pretty good rating-wise, but not doing great in the box office. Is it rated R? It must be rated R.
Yeah, I think it is.
That would partly explain why it only has $53 million compared to Now You See Me 3, which came out the same day and is already 3 times that box office at $154 million.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's where we're at. Jake's still in the lead. Jake has Avatar 3 coming out in 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2 weeks-ish. 2.5 weeks. Yeah. And you have The Housemaid. So hopefully Sydney Sweeney can save you.
I'm so screwed.
I have not seen any promotion for The Housemaid. I don't even know if it's coming out on Christmas Day or not.
I've seen a handful of previews, actually. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's more like... I'm trying to remember a movie that she was in that's super successful, other than Christy, the boxing movie, which flopped hardcore. Anyway, I'll stop pretending to be hopeful for you because I'm really hopeful for me. I hope I win.
You're going to end up with I can't believe you're drafting. I swear, you're I think there's some insider trading going on with some of the picks that you've made the past few years. That's what I think.
Go back. They've been openly shared. Proper steps have been taken to go make sure we go in order.
Las Vegas gambling going on for the Movie Boners movie draft.
Never bet against the house. That's the rule about this.
Yeah. Apparently, because you keep getting these billion-dollar movies. Even when they're not even supposed to hit $1 billion, you have managed to do that. So
Yeah, I think your highest this year is 600 million.
I think your highest is
And
600
I think I
millions.
have a couple 600 millions and a
I've got a
billion.
couple 600 million.
Jurassic Park might have been 750, something like that. Yeah. So it's going well enough, but two more episodes to really figure out how the year ends. So that will be interesting.
Right.
All right. What new stuff have you seen lately? Last time you didn't watch anything.
Right. So I felt bad about that. So I was like, dang it, I'm going to watch some new things. So I did.
Okay.
So my daughter and I were big fans of the first two, so we were definitely excited to see the third. We did go and see Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And it's okay. I think it was, her and I both left the theater being like, it's weird that for the third part in this trilogy, they decided to essentially just remake the second movie. Weird choice.
Yeah. Kind of cop out.
Kind of. And I think trying to add more and more youngsters to these kinds of ensemble films is so unnecessary, and you kind of take away the charm of the original group. So
is it like weirdly a legacy sequel with the original cast and then trying to introduce new characters?
Kind of, which is such a weird franchise to do that with.
Especially with only 2 previous movies.
Right. It wasn't bad. Right. It's entertaining, but the first 2 are sufficient enough, I'd say. And then I watched Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Okay.
Because I needed to see what was up with that. And that was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy that one. I kind of wish it hadn't been a Netflix exclusive.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it would have been like a full theatrical release. Some of the stuff on it, like some of the shots of it, I think it would have looked way cooler on the big screen than, on your TV.
Yeah, I could see that.
But it was a good movie. He did a really good job of adapting the, Mary Shelley's story. Yeah, good flick. And then it took me a year, but I finally watched the Jason Bateman Christmas movie from last year, Carry On. Did you ever see that one?
No, never. Oh, he's like a bad guy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy in an airport.
Okay, yeah. I didn't see it, but I remember the trailer. It looked cool.
Well, I think you would dig it. It gave me very like 90s vibe action movie, but done
Taron Egerton
in 2024.
Okay.
There's a lot of ridiculous setup stuff that you're like, yeah, there's no way any of this would actually happen. But it works for the story, and it was super entertaining. I really liked it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the list.
I think you would really dig it. I do. And then, like the rest of the world, had to watch Volume 1 of Stranger Things, Season 5.
Yes.
And I realized about halfway through the first episode of Volume 1, I was like, I don't remember crap from the previous 4 seasons. Like, I don't remember anything. This is going to be rough. And I think it did affect my enjoyability. I feel like I am alone on this island where I'm like, I just don't think it's that special anymore. And sorry. I'll finish it because, like, kind of have to, but they're trying to make, like, certain characters that I have never been a fan of from the start of the series to now. They're trying to make these characters seem amazing and awesome. And I'm like, nope, just not happening. So I'm hoping for Volume 2 to be better.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt about Season 4 is that
I hated Season 4. I remembered that.
When Season 4 started, I was like, this is not what like the popular consensus is cracked up to be, that Stranger Things is incredible. But the more season 4 went on, I really liked the story and how it tied in. And it didn't, I think I brought it up last time that I was 45 minutes away from finishing it. Did finish it. It's really good overall. And I think it helped going into season 5. So we watched the first 4 episodes of season 5 too, obviously.
Okay.
And, but sort of accidentally, like when we first opened Netflix, is like Stranger Things is here. So like, okay, yes, start that. And so it starts, and it was like I thought it was this really long extended flashback where they do the D&D game, and Will ends up getting chased by the Demogorgon. I was like, this is going on for a really long time for a flashback to the beginning of the show.
Start it over?
Yeah, I was like, is this season 1, episode 1 right now? And it was.
That's awesome.
And my wife was like, this is incredible, because I didn't remember any of that. That seemed very important. So yeah, anyway, season 5 is decent so far. I have enjoyed kind of jumping into where things were, and I think the aged up characters make sense for the most part. But it's too early to tell how good it'll end up being, I think.
Is it just me, or is Vecna's design just so not good?
I told Christy he is a Grinch body. Like, next time he's on screen,
that's what it looks like.
his torso is so
like
Grinchy, where it kind of stands like this with his little belly.
There's so many
it's
shots.
Just a little belly.
I was like, I can't take this villain serious. I can't figure out why I can't take him serious. Yeah.
I think they need a smaller waist, broader shoulders, make him more intimidating. He's just very straight and Grinchy.
And he's like, look at my long fingers. Okay, I won't go into it, but the grunting was like, you guys got to stop. What new things did you watch, Jake, besides season 5, obviously? I
watched a lot. I watched 2 new movies released in the last month, which were rare for me. I generally take forever to watch new movies. And then I watched 3 random Netflix movies, because my wife got Netflix, and we're just watching random crap on there. And another 2025 fantasy adventure no one cares about. So speaking of last episode about true stories, I watched Roofman. That's one of the new releases.
I still really want to see that.
It's good. It's really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst are both fantastic in it. The story is insane, particularly knowing that it's a true story about this guy that broke into the roofs of McDonald's to steal money and then goes to jail, becomes pretty successful, does it a lot, goes to jail, and then escapes from jail, and then hides out in a Toys R Us for months and months and months and months, evading the law. And then kind of tries to start a new life. And it's funny, it's heartfelt and sad. You kind of really want him to succeed. And but then also know that there's no real way that he could possibly succeed. So it's kind of sad, but it's beautiful and romantic and heartbreaking. I like how they told the story a lot.
Okay.
I would say I haven't watched a ton of the movies from this year yet, but I would say it's one of the most enjoyable ones I've watched of this year for sure. I'll watch it again from time to time, I think.
That's good to hear.
And then the movie probably no one cares about, but was one of my only, I'm probably one of the only people that anticipated with this movie and was excited about it this year. It came out, I watched it, Sonja.
Oh my gosh, I forgot they remade that.
They did remake it.
Wow.
I appreciate that it was a remake and there is an original Red Sonja. I would say the remake, not so many people are like super into sword and sorcery movies from that has to be 80s. 80s?
Yeah.
I think it's after Conan.
Yeah.
The Red Sonja remake is definitely better than the Conan Barbarian with
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa, yes. Definitely better than that.
Okay.
It starts out pretty basic and cliche, a little cheesy, but also I think kind of is tongue-in-cheek cheesy about it, making references to the original Red Sonja and her costume bikini and all that stuff. I think it does a good job of fun nods for the fans of the source material, if there are any. But then they'd also try to balance keeping the pulp, but also making a real movie in 2025, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that I really like sword sorcery movies. I think that I wish that they made more. They're not that successful, so I understand why they don't. But I think that they're really, really fun. I guess we kind of saw that dip in interest with the really good Dungeons and Dragons movie. Nobody really saw that or cared about it, but it was a really good movie. This is not on the same caliber as Dungeons and Dragons, but it is still really, really fun and enjoyable. A lot of action. I liked it. It was good enough. But I definitely enjoy worse movies, so take that for what it's worth. And speaking of worse movies, we watched some new Netflix Christmas movies.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if you were going to beat me to the punch, because I know you and I are super cheesy suckers to this.
Yeah. But yeah, there was just in a mood where I was like, this sounds fun. And so we watched Merry Xmas.
Okay.
Ex, like ex-wife, ex-husband, Xmas, which is fun, even if it is PG. I guess that can be good for family-friendly reasons, but it's fun. It has Alicia Silverstone in it. She's a handy woman in a small town whose husband has been separated from her for a while. Her husband is Oliver Hudson, which I just learned is Kate Hudson's brother, even though I've seen him in a ton of stuff. I had no idea. But they were good. They had good chemistry, good everything. The movie itself, also Melissa Joan Hart is in it, and she has the smallest, most meaningless role of somebody whose name you know that I think I've ever seen. She's just there for Alicia Silverstone to talk to, and doesn't really do anything in the whole movie, which is kind of funny. But it's cute, it's funny. I think that it's family appropriate for the most part, and it's just a fun. Everything that you want to happen happens, and it hits the right beats. It's not incredible. It's not a consistent classic, but it's like
it's exactly Netflix wannabe Hallmark Christmas movie, because that's kind of what it looks like to me. All right, so then yeah,
same vein as that for sure.
All right,
and then after that kind of broke the seal on things, we started scrolling through, and of course we finally went back and watched Hot Frosty from was it like 2 or 3 years ago now? Yeah, Hot Frosty was an experience. It was a meme for a while, and then I think people forgot it exists, but it's still out there. You can watch it. I didn't know that it has Ted from Schitt's Creek in it. He's the Hot Frosty, the titular Hot Frosty. Okay. He is jacked in this movie, by the way. Side note.
So you loved it.
I enjoyed it. It was funny. It was just the right amount of cheese. Also Lacey, how do you say your last name? Shalbert from Mean Girls. Gretchen Wieners from Mean Girls. She's the main girl. She's fun. Also, the movie does a very interesting thing, which people should check out and then discuss online.
Isn't it about her having the hots for a snowman that comes to life?
Well, yes. She is recently widowed, I believe, and then she puts a scarf around a chiseled into snow, Frosty, the snowman, and puts the magic scarf around his neck, and he comes to life and then doesn't realize that he's a snowman, doesn't realize why he's sweating all the time when he's inside the house and all the stuff, and they put clothes on him, and it's great. And then they develop a relationship, and it's great. So the problem with this movie, it's not really with the movie itself, it's with me and my viewing experience. I started getting tired and I fell asleep, and then my wife made us go to bed, and I haven't finished it. And the problem with that is that for the last week or two, I've partially jokingly, whenever we go to watch something at night, say, hey, we could finish Hot Frosty. And she's not interested in finishing it. And at this point, I'm afraid to keep bringing it up because I want to finish it. But I might have to watch it by myself, and I don't know if I can.
You might have to. You might have to. I like how this is the saddest I've seen you for a while. Like, I want to finish it, but I don't want to admit to my wife that I want to finish it.
Yeah.
So you admit to everyone that listens to us on a public podcast.
Yes, because I don't need them to respect me. I was going to say, though, the weird thing about Hot Frosty is that it ties into the Netflix Christmas movie that Lindsay Lohan did that we both loved. That was
Falling
terrible
for
also.
Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
great movie.
there's a scene where she sees that scene on TV, and then it's not like a fourth wall break. It's just like a expanding the universe take because she recognizes it, and also it ties into Mean Girls because she's
Well, I
like,
was gonna say, is it more of a tie-in to Mean Girls, or is it an actual
it's
tie-in to?
it's both in the sense that
Okay.
that movie exists in this world on TV, and then also a girl that she went to high school with is acting in it, and
Okay. Okay.
and so it's a great joke, but also now connects those three movies into a shared universe, which is very interesting to me. I'm probably the only person that cares about that.
I think it's I mean, they get to own that market, so good on them.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then okay, two more things. I watched another Netflix movie, not Christmas related, a horror movie from 2021 with Amanda Seyfried called Things Heard and Seen.
Dude, I see this on Netflix, and every time I'm like, I'm gonna watch this, and then I go, no.
Yeah. We watched the trailer, like that looks pretty good.
All right.
And then it stayed on the list for a while, and then finally got around to watching it. It is pretty good. So Amanda Seyfried plays like this mom and wife to this guy who takes a professorship in upstate New York away from everybody, and she kind of has to like figure out how to integrate with the society around the small town and stuff. But also their house may or may not be haunted. And Natalia Dyer from Stranger Things is in it. Karen Allen is in it. And so the cast is all pretty great. The movie itself it does interesting stuff with like the family moving into the potentially haunted house. It potentially having multiple spirits affecting them, both good and evil, and trying to figure out, is it just a ghost from the past and history, and what's the history of this town and all this stuff, or is it actually malevolent, or what's the story? It does get a little silly and weird, loses me a little bit towards the end or the last act, but then also it has elements and like visual moments that I'm still thinking about that were very interesting, and so I think um it's hard to say like it's a strong recommend, but if you got nothing else to watch and you're interested in a horror movie and interested in not wasting your time, I don't think it's a waste of time. I think it's fun. The mystery is interesting, and the secrets that like the husband and wife are keeping, how that is unraveled and shown to the audience, I think is interesting. So
Okay.
it's it may be polarizing. Christy didn't really like it, but I think I dug it overall. But maybe for weird artsy reasons.
What do I know James Norton from?
That's a good question. I wondered that myself. He's the husband, I assume.
Apparently, I don't know him from anything.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his IMDb, and I'm like, oh, maybe I just know your name.
I've not seen. Oh, I do want to watch House of Guinness, though. That's another Netflix thing that's been on our list.
That's on
Yeah,
Netflix?
Yeah.
Oh.
Indeed it is. Here's an episode of Black Mirror, but you haven't been caught up on that, so probably not. Anyway, and then last thing I saw Zootopia 2. I contributed to my box office, and it's pretty great. It's pretty great indeed. I was a little worried going into it just because it's been so long since the first one, and the first one I think does a really good job of having a great message while avoiding straying into the political correct like
So
arena.
it doesn't like have the agenda?
No, it's a very simple message that we are all, even though we all have differences, that we should all still talk to each other, and we have more in common with each other than we think. That's the message of the movie. And it's
okay.
great. Very even keeled, very, I think, clear and easy for kids to follow. The movie itself is really fun, has really funny references to other Disney movies, like Ratatouille in particular. I laughed out loud at that reference. And then, weirdly, The Shining, which is good.
Awesome.
But not for the kids, for the adults to take that one away. But yeah, overall, really, really fun. And also, I think really special because it's the first movie that I got to take my son to. My first born son. He's now 3. We just been going through potty training, and because he went through like a whole week of doing consistently and kind of staying out of diapers, that we said he could go to a movie during the Thanksgiving break.
Oh, cool.
And so he was so excited to go and get popcorn and all of the things and see the big screen. So it was like his first experience. I got to take him to do that, and that was really special and really, really cool.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah. And so he was enthralled just with the whole experience, just sat in awe the whole time and barely talked, barely ate popcorn constantly. He's got that motion down for sure. But yeah, that was really, really fun. So
yeah, that's a special memory. My daughter and I, her very first theater experience was Wreck-It Ralph.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's one you're going to hold on to forever.
Yeah.
Now, but you have 2, so now you have to make sure you do the same thing for your youngest when he's older.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, just due to timing and stuff, my wife wasn't able to go. We were like, can we both go and one stay home with the youngest, or how do we do this? So I may not take the second one. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we'll have to share and trade off, which would be okay. I would understand that as well. Or I guess we'll see what happens. It's possible that we could all go, but you never know. Anywho, I think that's all I've seen. Some other random show stuff. They don't care about that. Nothing that I'm super attached to.
So, okay. So it's not Love is Blind or.
No, we're in a hiatus right now for that, so don't worry. Eagerly anticipating the next season. I just saw when we opened Netflix, Love is Blind Italy is out, and I was like, do we dare try that? Maybe not. We'll see.
You're totally going to.
We did. I guess we watched kind of something. So we watched all of the second season of the Squid Game, the challenge show, like the reality version of Squid Game, which is such a funny thing to me that they really commit to the bit of when these people are eliminated, a pack goes off on their chest and they pretend to die. They all just immediately slump over on the ground.
Right.
But the pack is like black. It's not red. I don't know if they just need the rating to be low enough so they can't use red or something like that. And then the thing that annoys me is they don't leave the bodies on the floor, that they will like remove that person and then the game will continue kind of thing. I'm like, I want to see them all strewn out.
You're like,
by the time the game is over.
We need bodies everywhere.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. But it's interesting how much the same sort of dynamics and story like evolves naturally as you kind of get attached to this character and they have a relationship with this character and then they end up losing or transforming connections or whatever, and the whole story just kind of progresses. And like it is a lot like the actual show. It's very, very interesting. And someone wins $4.5 million, which is,
oh my god,
in theory, assuming it's all real and not accounting for taxes, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, enough of that stuff, I think. Are you ready to talk about adventure?
I think I'm ready to go on an adventure with you, Jake. Okay. Are you?
Yes. Did you have any challenges coming up with your list?
Yeah, I think I changed my top, my like picks 10 through 4. I think we're on constant rotation. I knew my top 3 from the get-go. That like it may have been the easiest list for the top 3 ever. Okay. But the rest of the list was like this revolving door of, should I? Oh, shoot, I forgot about that one. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't even think of this one. Oh, that one's got to be here. Like, oh, shoot, people are going to get mad if I don't have this on here. Do I want it? I do. No, okay. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar problem where it's just kind of like, this movie is in, obviously, and then like, I don't have ever put it now because I remembered something else, and now it's an honorable mention, and yeah, the list kind of got long. I think the biggest challenge for me was finding that line between action and adventure, because obviously I wasn't going to redo any movies we had on our action list, even if they were adventure-y. But There's also, I think, the interesting things for me about adventure movies is that it's kind of the perfect genre, and that's also the biggest challenge for me is that it blends all the other genres, I
Mm-hmm.
think, the most, because the best adventure movies have a lot of action in them and have at least a little romance in them, and they need some horror elements in them to be kind of scary and exciting and have mystery in them, and I think it also helps if there's fantasy at like unknown elements of the
Yeah.
fantasy world or the sci-fi world or something like that. And so finding all those movies that I had previously on other lists, I was like, okay, trying not to do past movies as much as possible.
I
Try not to
tried,
do movies we've talked about a lot.
I'm sure I'm going to have a couple on mine that are on previous lists because it was hard to remember what's been on what list or what hasn't been on a list because I was saving it for other lists. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I tried not to overthink it like you, apparently.
Oh, I overthunk the hell out of it.
I really kind of just hunkered down and was like, okay, what is the most basic like definition of an adventure film? And that is one or, multiple characters have to make it from point A to point D, and they're going to
Mm-hmm.
encounter like several kind of escalating scenarios that they have to survive or solve or move on from to get to the finale. So
Okay.
I literally went with like, we're moving.
I was going to ask that as well, which is, did you just stuck with kind of what you believe this? I believe this movie is an adventure because it fits this structure.
And it helps that I double checked IMDb's genres and was like, adventure,
Okay.
it works. Adventure, it works.
I was gonna say, did you even bother then comparing the quote unquote real genre of the movie to be does this qualify or not? Because I did not on this episode even look to see what the genres of the movies are. I've mostly went with does it fit the definition of an adventure movie for me, and that was the dividing line between action and adventure for me. The action definition of action for me is a series of set pieces of exciting moments that you will remember and be exhilarated by, but doesn't really need to do anything else beyond that. Whereas an adventure movie is that it needs to be more defined by the whole journey, that you are going from one place to another. It doesn't take place all in one location or area. And also the scope of the story or the effect of the story on the characters, how every character is affected over the course of the journey matters, and I think makes for a better adventure movie than not. So for there to just be that continual progression in the story, I think is the key for me. And so because I've stuck with the definition, there were a lot of movies that aren't quote unquote adventure movies that I started to consider, like the Blair Witch Project and The Ritual and horror movies like that. I'm like, this is an adventure, whether it's listed as one or not, or Hostiles, or like all of these kinds of movies. Like these are adventures, whether they're not joyful necessarily.
Well, see, so that was another thing to it to me, though, was like, I think when it comes to straight adventure films, I think it has to have a fun element. I think it has to be fun. Like you can have all of those other like genre kind of melding spots like the horror, the fantasy and all that. But the actual journey needs to be enjoyable. It needs to be fun. It just does. It just needs to have some fun moments. So because of that, I would not consider Hostiles an adventure film, because your general audience is going to hear adventure and they're going to be like, oh, cool, this is going to be like a journey. Yay. And it'll be full of quips and silliness and then scary moments and action-packed moments. Hostiles is amazing, but it's a journey of like soul crushing and
soul crushing, but affects all the characters' growth so much over the course of the journey.
It does.
I think that's mostly why it stuck out to me. But then obviously it was on a top 10 Western list, and Yeah. And then there were also several obvious ones that I was like, do I need to have it on there so that people aren't mad at me, like you were saying before? And I left several major ones off the list. Some because we talked about them in depth before, and some because just as far as my favorite adventure movies right now, they're not on the list. And that's particularly, I guess, just ripping the Band-Aid off right away. I don't have Star Wars on my list.
Hey, me neither.
Yeah, that's something that may be which is a weird thing for me to say because I originally was like, it may be one of the, if not the most defining adventure movies as far as getting me excited about what an adventure can be on screen in like my childhood. But we moved past that. And we've also talked about Star Wars for over 4 hours straight in our Star Wars episodes. And I don't know what else I can say about A New Hope at this point. So
True.
I was like, let's make room for something more interesting.
Right.
Who should go first? You want to go first?
I think
don't
you
remember.
go first this time because I think I did the last time. So
okay, I'll take your word
Mister,
for it,
I
then.
overthought the definition of an adventure film, and I like broke it all down. You probably made a freaking Excel sheet too for like what defines where's like the
No.
or you did a Venn diagram or
chart.
something like that to find out where all
chart,
the
maybe. Yeah. No, I didn't do anything like that. But my number 10 is not. I don't know. Doesn't fit any of the caveats. It is adventure. It's the most adventure, one of the more adventure movies on the list. It's listed as an adventure epic on IMDb, so it's an epic adventure, very clearly through and through.
Avatar.
I know you like this movie. Don't even start me. I know you like this movie because you had it as your number 3 fantasy movie.
Yeah.
And so my number 10 adventure movie is The Big Fish, or just Big Fish. Drop
It's
the
just Big Fish.
It's cleaner.
Big
Fish.
Fish is so good. Oh my gosh.
I have a complicated relationship with Big Fish because
you're not a Tim Burton fan.
I'm not a Tim Burton fan. That's part of the whole thing. And so when I think about Big Fish, like my memory of it, I'm like, that's not a movie for me. That's not a movie that, you know how you have movies that you like want to associate with you, or you want to be associated with you. Like, I want this movie to be a part of what defines me and what I put out there in the world as far as what I like, who I am. Big Fish is not one of those movies. It's the opposite of one of those movies. And so when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's not a movie that I like. And then I think about specific moments in it, or I rewatch it, and I'm like, golly, this movie is fantastic.
It's so good.
I love this movie. I don't know what it is. And so I'm like, I have to admit that it's a fantastic movie and a wonderful adventure. And Tim Burton, even though it helps that it may be his least stylishly silly movies, but there's so many weird elements still in it. That it's not the fairest to say. It's a very, very weird movie. And I like this story, I think, in particular, that it's the story about this father who's growing older and his son wants to get to know him and learn the story of his life. And I think Billy Crudup is great as the son, but also doesn't know how much of the story he's heard is fact and fiction, like trying to separate the man from the myth. And so to then have his whole dad's life unfurl before him in a lot of unbelievable moments and very fantastical moments, but then also either knowing that they're shockingly true or just wanting to believe that they're true, and it is what makes him up. I think that's interesting, and I think it's interesting to watch Ewan McGregor go on the journey as all of these flashback scenes. That's the whole point of the heart of the movie, is the journey Ewan McGregor as the young man goes on, and what he experiences and growth and all of that stuff. I think it's very, very interesting. His adventure and the characters he runs into and the situations he gets into is just unlike any other movie that I've ever seen.
I think it's you brought it up. It's actually one of my favorite things about Big Fish, the more that I've watched it over the years, is the son spends so much time and energy being so caught up and concerned about just the like boring facts of his dad's life that he's completely choosing to overlook the heart of his dad's life. Like his dad's passion for being in love, or for his mom, his dad's passion for just learning and experiencing something new, and just hoping that his son will kind of take that and do it for himself. But his son, works a boring job or whatnot, but has a family, of his own. Big Fish is amazing. And if you haven't seen it, you should. And you should probably watch it with a box of Kleenexes. Because I don't know about you, Jake, but I can't watch that movie and not make it through the final 10 minutes of that film without just being like...
Yeah. It's very, very affecting. I dry up a little bit more when he releases his dad into the water. I'm like, less locked into... like, I don't know, the suspension of disbelief is a little less for that fish part, but overall, the relationship and everything you described of needing to rationalize that the man that he knows as his dad and all of the black and white fact stuff is completely different than the guy that we're seeing as a young Ewan McGregor, that he's very excited and joyful and colorful and all of that stuff. That's to find those two halves being the same person, just at different times or buried a little deeper than others, is very, very good and very, very interesting.
Yeah.
It does make me soulful, I guess you could say.
Well, I did not expect you to ever have a Tim Burton movie on any list, except for maybe like Batman and Batman Returns.
Sure, naturally.
Yeah. Maybe Mars Attacks, but I've always figured those were like it.
I do love Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. But that's a great pick. Way to come out swinging, man.
Thank you.
Well, my number 10, this was one that when I watched it, it was just kind of on a whim, but it was one of those movies where like immediately I just knew, I think I found a new, this movie's going to be in my wheelhouse for a long time. And I was very bummed. The timing that it came out was terrible. It came out during COVID, so no one saw it. But my number 10 is Love and Monsters.
Oh, yeah. I've seen this movie.
Dude, this movie is so much fun. It is so, it's imaginative. It's super entertaining. It's kind of, suspenseful on a few parts, because anytime that there's a dog involved in an adventure, you're like, okay, will my heart get tore out? I don't know. But his whole quest, he starts off as like the super lovable dude who happens to be like kind of the cook. He's kind of like the teddy bear of this bunker of survivors in this post-apocalyptic world where bugs and amphibians have been mutated through through an alien meteorite and then nuclear warheads. And they've grown into incredible sizes. Anyway, so he lives in this bunker and he wants to reunite with the love of his life, who's on the coast. And it's a 7-day journey to get to her, and he decides he's going to be brave and make it to her. And it's so full of shockingly really good special effects and some practical effects. There's a lot of practical mixed into it, which is really cool. But just to watch his journey and the people that he meets along the way, and then the dog, who doesn't have a name, it's just dog. Or boy, boy. It's such a great adventure. I love this movie. Every time I rewatch it, I won't watch it for a while, and then I put it in. I'm like, all right, let's see if it's still as good as I remember. And then I end up liking it more than I did previously. And I'm like, nope, this movie is amazing. More people need to know this and watch it. So, Love and Monsters. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I remember being very pleasantly surprised with it. It is way better than I anticipated it being at the time I watched it. I was like, this is really good. Really, really fun.
It's so good.
All right. My number 9 is maybe less of a common adventure movie, but still very clearly an adventure. And I think is kind of it harkens back to the foundation of my own sense of adventure, you could say, in that it involves road trips. And being
Is it
forced
just a
on
road
road
trip?
trips. No, it's not just road trip. Being forced on a road trips by your parents as a kid, you're like, this kind of sucks, but also this is an adventure in itself, no
Man,
matter
I
what
thought about
happens.
having this one. If it's what I think you're about, I was like, does this count?
It has to count. National Lampoon's Vacation,
Yeah.
uh, particularly the first one. I think that we've talked about how much we love Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation is great, but it's all at home.
hmm
It's a staycation, really. National Lampoon's Vacation, forcing the kids into um, the pea green station wagon and journeying across country to see Wally World. And it's just, it's the kind of movie that I think is does a really good job of capturing the believability of that how that happens in all like in our families all
hmm
when we were kids, like the way that John Hughes wrote it and the way Harold Ramis directed it really sells the believability of this family road trip adventure. And so even as absurd as it gets at times, like there's enough realism that it's all still very relatable. I think that we all see a bit of our dads in Clark no matter what, and a bit of our moms in Ellen, and we all have weird extended family that we don't see much, and it's awkward when you do, but somehow not awkward for them because they always seem like it's the most natural and easy family relationship ever. And I just feel like National Lampoon's Vacation, it's weird because it's like it's a family quote unquote movie in the sense
hmm
that it's about this family going together, and but all movies that you see like this is kind of from the kid's perspective of like, oh, we're going on the trip, we're learning these things, we're seeing these things, all that stuff. So I default in my mind to it being that kind of a movie, and then I'm always reminded that it's not, particularly when you see the mom's breasts in the shower. I'm like, this is not normal. This is not a normal thing to see in a movie like this. But then I have to remind myself that it's really from the dad's perspective. Like this
Yeah.
whole trip, the whole story is just about Clark wanting to instill this sense of adventure in his kids, that this is the thing that you do. You go on the great American family road trip, and it's important because you never know what you're going to see. You never know who you're going to meet, and you never know what problems you're going to run into, and you got to work together to solve, and it brings you closer together. That's kind of the magic of those family times together and
Especially
trips
if
and
a
stuff.
grandma dies in your car.
Yes, yes. Or you launch your car in the middle of the desert and
You launch
crash
the car into the desert.
all of the little pieces fall off of it. Yeah,
Hostage situations. We've all been there.
yeah. Normal family vacation kinds of stuff. So yeah, I think that this is one of the best adventure movies, and because of all the crazy things that happen and how they have to adapt and how they work together and all of that stuff. So,
hmm
and it's fun, it's funny, and was the first movie in a very, very good franchise of movies. Even if Vegas Vacation and European Vacation aren't up there with this one, it brought us Christmas Vacation, which is one of arguably,
Pinnacle.
if not the best Christmas movies ever. So I think National Lampoon's Vacation is definitely way up there for me.
Well, mine's not the next pick, but it is funny that we both have family road trip movies on our
Okay.
adventure list, but I'll get to mine later.
All
My
right.
number 9 is not about families. Actually, we have to go back to 1951 for this adventure film.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm going classic with heavy hitting names from those days.
Okay.
So, but
Errol Flynn.
no, it's going to be
That's
Humphrey
probably earlier.
Bogart and Katharine Hepburn. Um,
Oh.
I saw this when I was like in middle school, maybe going into high school. My parents were like, "This is a great movie," and I was this movie's gonna suck because it's old. I don't want to watch this. And then I
Right.
watched it and was like, "Oh, this is a great movie," and it is still one of the best movies, like in general. But for adventure, we're gonna stick with that. So my number 9 is The African Queen. It is. So the adventure is just down a river, but the river provides a lot of chaos. So it's World War One, in Africa, where a missionary teams up with a boat. I forget what his actual like job title, quote unquote, is. Hold on.
Captain.
He's a riverboat captain. They
Okay.
team up to take his little riverboat to go and bomb a German ship to open up some sea for the English. And their relationship is just so incredible. Like when I was rewatching it in prep for this episode, I realized a few things about this movie. One, it might have the most natural acting, like best acting I think I've ever potentially seen.
Okay.
Their chemistry is almost too good.
Yeah.
And number two, the thing that just blew me away that I was like, this is exciting. I love it when you can watch a movie, even if it's a repeat watch or new, where it's such a well-made film that you don't even consider picking your phone up. Like, I didn't even care to go on IMDb to read the fun tidbits. It's such a well-made movie with such a engaging storyline. I was like, this movie is amazing. Like, it's even better now that I'm older than when I was a kid. But their whole adventure down the river of how, like, he kind of expects her, Katharine Hepburn's character, and you as the audience expect her to be this way too, where she's like kind of hoity-toity, like she's a little bit full of herself, but then she steers a boat down the rapids, and you, along with Humphrey Bogart's character, are both kind of shocked at the same time of her joy that she gets from doing it. And she's like, when's the next set? I want to do it again. And you're like, what? But African Queen, it is, it's such an amazing film. You have to watch it. And Jake, I know you like old movies, so you might want to revisit this one.
I have seen it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember liking it quite a bit. I really like Katharine Hepburn. I feel like she's obviously one of the names of the old Hollywood that people revere, but I don't think people talk about her and her abilities and her performances much nowadays, like as much as they should. They still talk about Humphrey Bogart. They still talk about all of these characters, or actors. But Katharine Hepburn is just kind of those, and she plays those kind of roles very, very well, where she's pretends to be very proper, but also has a very sharp edge to her as well.
Right.
She's kind of that in like Rooster Cogburn with John Wayne as well. Really good, really, really good. So that's a great movie. I'm glad that you brought a classic to the list.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My number 8 is a movie that I still hold out hope, because I have the ability to hope for things that are impossible. I hold out hope that they make more in this series. It was supposed to kick off a franchise and never did, but it's based on a series of like 20 books. And this movie is the one movie from 2003. My number 8 is Master and Commander: The Far Side of the World.
Oh, okay. I knew you were going to have this one. I knew you were. I knew. I was like, there's no way he'd let this list go without Master and Commander.
I absolutely love the time period of the early 1800s. I love ships with sails and masts and privateers and pirates and the British Navy and all of that stuff. And so this movie scratches a lot of itches for me. It's also phenomenally shot. It's a very, very exciting, kind of opens, this bookend, it opens and closes with 2 very climatic, intense ship battles, which is very, very cool. And it's also so interesting to me. So Peter Weir directed this movie. It's his follow-up to the Truman Show 5 years earlier than this. And it's 14 years after it did Dead Poet Society. It's completely unlike any of those movies. This is an action adventure epic that with Russell Crowe, that is just intense and powerful, and And I like that it makes you feel like you're there in the sense that it does a good job of having time pass. Um, if like as you're watching the movie, if you start like paying attention to the rhythm that you get into while you're watching it, it's like we wake up, we work, we experience this thing that happens this day, we take care of this problem, then the next scene is the crew like having dinner and going to bed and talking like at night and going through the night and then the next day and then the night and then the next day and then the night, and it starts to feel like this is a very long journey that you're going on day after day, which I think is really really cool. Um, and so I really 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 like Russell Crowe as Captain Aubrey in it, and his friend Paul Bettany's character is this surgeon slash intelligence agent that is also on the ship, and their relationship is really good. And the movie is very exciting. It has lots of battles in it and a lot of ship struggles in it, but also has really interesting slow moments where they make port to fix some stuff and explore the Galapagos and the animals' life on it
Yeah.
because they've never been there before, and it's just it's the adventure set the sense of adventure in these characters as they journey into the other side of the world that they've never been to before and don't know if they'll find monsters, don't know if they'll find the edge of the world because it's not round. Um, is always so impressive to me. And so to see the bravery of this crew of men who kind of take that on is I think translated very well to screen. I really like it and how it presents that. The tagline of the movie is the courage to do the impossible lies in the hearts of men. And I think that's really, really cool and really, really fun.
Yeah, it is an epic. I do agree with that. The scope of it is huge. It helps that they're on the ocean for
Mm-hmm.
it's like a just under 3 hour movie, isn't it?
218,
Oh,
IMDb says.
218?
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Unless there's an extended cut,
no,
which
no,
I
I think
could
it's
be.
just because it is so paced.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very patiently paced. Um, so it's been a minute since I've watched it. Uh, maybe that's why. Anyways, it the fact that they're on the ocean for the majority of the film is, I mean, that helps the scope of it. But yeah, I like the sense of adventure. It kind of it feels like the kind of movie that you should watch in like a middle school or high school history class, just to
Yeah.
try and convey like, hey guys, back then you had to manually do every little thing because your life actually depended on you doing every
Yeah.
little thing. So,
Yeah, completely.
but just to kind of it's a very grounding movie for me, just in that sense. And it is really cool seeing him hit the islands to study the animals, him doing his like journal with
Mm-hmm.
sketches and stuff. That's one of the small details that I love about that. I knew you were going to have that movie. Dude, our list is kind of cracking me up because we have a lot of parallel so far. I say a lot.
Okay.
It's going to be like two, but it's kind of funny how we're like somewhat paralleling, except for
Two so far out
two
of the
so
two
far.
movies we've done.
Yeah.
3 movies we've done.
So my number 8 is the family road trip movie.
Okay.
It's very funny. It's very heartfelt. It's got some very sad moments, but you were mentioning that a big thing about an adventure for you is character development, like how this journey actually affects everyone that's
Yeah.
on it. I think my number 8 probably has one of the most emotionally definitive effects on every single character involved in the movie. My number 8 is Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. I didn't even consider that, but that's very accurate.
Yeah, this movie is like pure character study almost in an adventure, and the adventure is going to this uh, beauty pageant for the young daughter. But
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting the character growth and like decline that everyone goes through. From the brother who's taken a vow of silence until he joins the I'm about to mess this up. Air Force, but then finding out that he's colorblind, so he can't join the Air Force. And Steve Carell, this was one of like the first drama roles that I think we saw Steve Carell in. And he plays an uncle who is just released from a suicide attempt, and the family has to care for him to make sure he doesn't try anything again. And so the dad's trying to become this life coach with a book that he's obsessed with and kind of overpowers onto the family. They all resent him for it. The mom's trying to hold everything together, and the daughter's just blissfully like, I just want to join this pageant. And her grandpa's like, I'm your coach. I'm going to do it. It also turns out the grandpa snorts a lot of cocaine.
Which makes it very exciting.
But it's just you brought up Vacation, and Little Miss Sunshine reminds me a lot of Vacation, just without the absurdity to everything. But it's like the kind of the dramatic side of taking your family cross country.
Yeah.
It's just Little Miss Sunshine, and the heart of this movie, man, by the time the finale comes up, you are just like, I don't know about you, but I am elated at the conclusion of this movie, where you're just like, I can actually like walk out the door and I feel pretty good right now. Like, this is this was great. This is good. Yeah. So number 8 is Little Miss Sunshine.
It does a great job of getting you invested in every single character and their individual journeys on this trip, for sure. And it's one of those movies that we've talked about before, how little credit Toni Collette gets for being great in so many things. She's great in this.
She might be the best actress of the 21st century. I don't know, but
yeah, so good. I love that you had that. That's a great choice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my number 7 is a classic. I love that this adventure movie, which was a hit at the time, has also become kind of one of the more popular cult classics, if that could be a thing. Like, it has this following online now of everybody's like, yes, the movie's incredible. Never let it die. Never let it forget how incredible this movie was.
The Empty Man.
No, but close. Not that close. But similar vibes, I guess you could say. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting off base. Don't even know why I'm
I didn't mean to
you.
interrupt you.
Everybody speaks fondly of this movie, and I love that that's still the case, which is brave, I think, to do, because it's a remake of a classic monster movie that shares very little with its source material. I'm talking about The Mummy from 1999 with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz. Everybody likes The Mummy, and as well they should, because it is the most fun you can have in 2 hours and 4 minutes, I think. It does everything well. I mean, the CGI is a little dated, but it's still very functional and very fun.
Yeah.
And definitely even still looks better at times than some of the movie scenes that we have today. So it's competitive at minimum, I would say, in the CGI department. But the big reason it works so flawlessly, I think, is because of the chemistry between Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz, and also between Rachel Weisz and her brother, character played by John Hannah. They're just the key tent poles that hold the movie up and make the whole story work. The whole team is great. And then it has all of the right, like, if it was a recipe for a great action movie, it has all of the right portions of ingredients, I think. It's the right amount of action. It's the right amount of comedy. It's the right amount of sexiness. It's the right amount of horror, being based on an original like horror monster movie. It has to have some of that. And it's just perfect, I think. And so I have to say, I'm cautiously optimistic for the Legacy sequel they recently announced, where both Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are coming back to be in it. I think they're teasing that what's his name? The like mysterious Arabian guy.
Well, he's confirmed for it. So those 3 are confirmed.
I saw him posting that he like was teasing it.
They are those three are confirmed for The Mummy 4. Frasier has come out and said number 4 is everything that we've wanted the story to go. And it's kind of like we're going to pretend the third one didn't really happen. This is going to be kind of like what the Ocean series did with Ocean's 12, where they're like, that wasn't the one. Ocean's 13 is the actual, like, that's the one we meant to make.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the fourth one. I just hope they actually make it. So
yeah, has to follow through for sure.
Yeah, The Mummy is, so it's an honorable mention for me because that was one of the movies that was rotating through my list so many times because it's so good. Little Miss Sunshine is the one that bumped it though, because it was just like, I went with heart over the spectacle on that pick because the majority of my list has a lot of spectacles, so I kind of had to like, I have to have a skosh of balance. Anyways, rewatching The Mummy now, we're pushing 40, and I can watch The Mummy and still watch it like I did as a kid, where it's just like, this is so much fun. This is like, we need more movies like this, guys.
Yeah, for real. Absolutely. Get back to this, whatever made this work, because it's great.
That was a big thing prepping for this list, dude, was watching all of these adventure movies. I was like, people are wondering what's lacking at the box office or why people aren't, because you're not giving us stories like this. These are, bring back the adventure.
This is a spectacle that people would want to see in a theater.
Yeah.
It's a fun experience.
Make it fun. This is going to sound weird, but I'm kind of ready to get away from like the character, like this sounds really weird, but like the indie A24 where it's going to be like the elevated stories now. Like, you know what? Let's just get back to basics. Let's go fun. Bring on the adventure movies.
I wonder if the problem with that has to do with the downfall of the movie star, that there's not really
I think it
those
does.
leads to carry it either as well.
Yeah. Because everything is there's almost too much content now. And it's just streaming's kind of killed or hurt the industry. I'm not going to say it killed, but it's hurt the industry. That's for sure.
So I'm not sure Brendan Fraser was a big star when he was the lead in this, though.
He was a pretty big star, but The Mummy definitely blew his career up.
Same year as Blast from the Past.
Yeah, he was already a leading actor by this time.
2 years after George of the Jungle, but not long since. 7 years since Encino Man and Airheads.
Well, and School Ties, and I think he did Gods and Monsters somewhere in that area too.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. All right.
What number are we on?
So 8. 8?
Well, my number 8's Little Miss Sunshine, so we must have just done. So we're on 7.
Yeah.
Did you go?
7 indeed. I did The Mummies for
The
7.
Mummy, that's right. We were talking about The Mummy. Wow. My brain quit on me right there. All right. Well, this is paralleling your nautical theme because like The Mummy, every time I watch this movie, I just can't help but smile because every beat of this film is perfect. It is still possibly one of the most fun films ever made. That should not have worked considering it's based on an amusement ride, but you cannot deny the brilliance and perfection that is Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
From just the story alone is a blast, but every character is awesome. You actually want to watch every character, even the douchey James Norrington.
Right.
But you are invested in everything about this world. And then Captain Barbossa shows up, and you see, like, when they do the CGI where they turn into the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Even though, like, the CGI is not as clean now, it is still phenomenal. Like, the attention to detail with the moonlight and the timing of it is incredible to me. But that movie is, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like, you are laughing, you're wide-eyed, it's got every element of every genre, and then it ends on just the coolest note, and you're just like, okay, so way to make pirates seem like heroes. That doesn't make sense, but let's do this. Yeah, Pirates is just, it's too good, and it's the amount of joy that I get from watching it is why it's on my list, is because every time I watch it, it is that same joy every time. It's just, yeah, it's just too good.
It holds up so well. I almost had it on my list, and I was so incredibly confident that you would have it for sure that I was like, I don't really have to. It just was a no-brainer for me. Yeah, I think that you could entirely 100% overlay what makes Pirates of the Caribbean work and what makes The Mummy work, and it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
That it's the mix of all the genres. It's the comedy and the horror and the action and the adventure and all those things, and the cast and the chemistry and everything. They work for the exact same reasons, I think.
Yeah.
And hold up for the same reasons for sure. And yeah, it definitely made Pirates very cool. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was a damn phenomenon. That's what it was. That everybody loved Pirates of the Caribbean when it came out, and it would not let go of the culture for a while.
Yeah.
Until they made maybe the fourth one, people were like, okay, we're
after the fourth one, people were like, all right, it's not as fun. But I think that's mainly because, like, it ended as a trilogy, and then the fourth one was the, like, well, let's keep milking this. And then they're like, let's make a
people
fifth one.
Sense it.
It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think audiences can sense that desperation.
Yeah.
It's not as fun anymore. All right. My number 6 is the reason that I think Christopher Nolan's next movie has one hurdle to make. And it is that we already have a flawless adaptation of Homer's The Odyssey.
Gosh, this is hilarious, Jake. Do you know why this is hilarious?
Because it's also your number 6?
Yep.
Fantastic. I love that for us.
And you even, like, your segue to it was exactly what I was going to say.
It is a flawless adaptation of The Odyssey.
It's so good.
Our number 6 is Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yep. Dude.
That's fantastic. That's
you was a toad.
It is one of my most beloved and most quoted movies ever, by far. Like, from Damn, We're in a Tight Spot to She Done RUNNOFT.
How's my hair? My hair.
Yeah. I'm the damned paterfamilias. It's so good. It's Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Just the way that I think the choices to adapt The Odyssey to be a movie that most people won't even recognize as The Odyssey is really, really fun. But then once you know that and rewatch it, it adds a whole other layer to it. And then you're like, oh, it makes a lot more sense that John Goodman is a Cyclops now. And it makes a lot more sense that they're enticed by the sirens in the river. And it's such a fun journey that they go on. And the choices that they make to change the story are great choices as well. Making the 3 escaped convicts in the Deep South, and the way that John Turturro and George Clooney and Tim Blake Nelson play those characters is so phenomenal, and just the most perfect version of what it could potentially even be. I have zero complaints about this movie. It is perfect to me.
This movie, it's one of those movies for me where when it came out, I didn't really have any desire to watch it, but I had this friend and she was obsessed with this movie. And she was one of those friends where, like, I forced her to watch everything from Requiem for a Dream to Fight Club to Equilibrium to it was just, I made her watch all these. And this was the one that she always wanted to make me watch. And so finally I caved. And it did not take long into it when I realized, the obsession makes sense for this movie. And it really is. There are zero complaints for this movie. It is the Coen brothers' best movie to date.
Okay. I don't think I can refute
personally,
that. I would agree.
Personally, to me, I think it is their crowning achievement. I really do.
I'm running through the IMDb in my mind. I'm like, it's better than Fargo for me. It's better than all of these other movies that I'm sort of thinking of.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking most of their filmography, but I mean, there's a couple that they've made that you're like, really? But
right. I mean, No Country for Old Men is fantastic.
But
it's not as generally appealing, and it's not fun in any way, shape, or form. And so you can't recommend No Country for Old Men. It's just the kind of movie that you find if you're old and grumpy like we are. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, you can recommend to anybody and say, this is a phenomenal movie that you will like. I promise you will like
and
it. It's like Princess Bride for that reason. It's like, you have never seen this movie that's just out there waiting to be discovered. You will like this. You need to watch it.
And I do that with my daughter a lot with movies, and this was one that I made her sit down and watch, and she was reluctant to watch it. And then by the end, she was like, well, now I just want to listen to the music from it all the time. And I hate country. I hate bluegrass, but I like this.
And she was like, one of my most listened to soundtracks. For sure.
Right. And she was like, and it's just genuinely funny. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? It's so good. Like, there's nothing wrong with that movie. There's not. And the fact that it's based on the Odyssey will always blow my mind. And I am excited for Nolan's, because now I'll have what version of the Odyssey am I in the mood for today? Giant, dramatic, epic telling, or escape convicts of a guy just trying to get home to his wife before she remarries. So sometimes you want Ulysses the Great Greek, and sometimes you want Ulysses Everett McGill, a dim-witted Southern escape convict. I'm a Dapper Dan man.
Exactly. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Well, then I guess my number 5, moving right along. Perhaps the most overall, most exciting, most fun, most meaningful PG movie I've ever seen is my number 5. I feel like I'm shitting on PG movies a lot in this episode. PG movies are fine, but at a certain point, I feel like you kind of stop being enticed by them. Maybe that's until my kids get older and I'm like, PG movies are great. Right now, it's like, I want a real movie for adults, and so I don't really care about PG movies.
Well, I mean, if you watch PG movies from the 80s,
when they were secretly PG-13 movies,
right? or are, looking at you, Jaws, but
yeah, that's a little different. But mine is from 2013, and it is a very, very wholesome PG-13 movie, but it is a PG-13 movie or PG movie for adults that everyone should see and everyone should enjoy, and has a phenomenal adventure in it. My number 5 is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Dang. So we're going to have 2 crossovers, but not yet.
Okay. I wondered about this one. I somehow did not see Oh Brother, Where Art Thou coming for you, but I was like, I know you like this movie a lot, and I think it's very likely that could be the case. Secret Life of Walter Mitty, well, being a remake one, I don't know that most people know it's a remake, because there is a actually really great Danny Kaye movie from 1947 of the same name that also does he does a phenomenal job. Danny Kaye is an iconic person of playing that whole clumsy daydreamer kind of character that can then snap into being a serious adventurer. That movie is also different. So if you've seen this movie, you can still watch the old movie and get a lot of new stuff out of it, because it's not the same sort of adventure. this is kind of like a weird side crossover where I'm also promoting this other movie as my number 5. Um, they obviously Time magazine isn't closing, and he isn't trying to find a last photo for the last cover. He works at a pulp fiction publisher, and gets pulled into like this conspiracy with spies and stuff. It's pretty exciting and really fun. But the 2013 version, directed by Ben Stiller and stars Ben Stiller, is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think primarily because I think it's a movie about having the courage to take risks, and it does such a good job of expressing this character that's never really done anything before in his life, but also starting to realize he doesn't have anything really to show for it, and has been content with the 9 to 5 grind, but realizing that it's not getting him anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of needing to be forced into this adventure, which is a great call to action for our hero. You see him grow and unfurl his, I don't know, tight-fistedness on life as the movie progresses. And Ben Stiller's acting does a phenomenal job in this movie for that. His portrayal of this character, from being so clammed up and afraid to being more confident and free-flowing and everything as the movie progresses, is really, really good. But then Ben Stiller's directing is definitely his best movie as far as that goes as well, because there's just something special about what he captured in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Like, it's the compositions of the shots, it's the coloring, it's the editing, it's the effects of his daydreams and how that's done and integrated into the real world. Everything about it is just so well done that it feels very comfortable, and it is kind of like a comfort watch that you can just throw this on and feel really good the whole time you're watching it. So I don't have any complaints about this movie either. It is a perfect movie to me. It's one of those movies that's way up there as one of my favorites of all time kind of movies. It's so good.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait to add on to what you said until it's my turn.
All right,
but
that's fair.
Yes, Secret Life of Walter Mitty is amazing. All right, so I'm looking at my number 5, and it's one of those picks where I'm like, this is if I don't have this on this, like, people are gonna go up in arms. I have nothing against this story. I think it is possibly like the definitive adventure of all time. And I'm seriously considering not having it as my number 5 now, just because it's so obvious. And I'm like, it's so amazing, but I am going to keep it at number 5. It's going to be number 5 because, one, it has to be on the list, but as much as I connected to this trilogy as it came out and the books when I read them as a kid, it's a little bit lower on my list just because the top 4 just hit deeper nerves or whatever, or however you want it. Anyways, so my number 5 is Lord of the Rings.
Okay. Yeah. I had Lord of the Rings on my list for the longest time. And I did kind of struggle with it too, because I was like, it's more of a fantasy movie to me than an adventure movie. It is the most like picture perfect adventure you could possibly have in a movie or series of movies. But it is more of a fantasy movie. And I think we had it on high in our fantasy list as well.
I think we did too. Let's double check, because it's the one I did not check.
And I know it was obviously on our top 10 scores, very, very high.
Yeah. So if it's, wow, my phone just went dumb. I just want to check, like, if it's already on my fantasy list, then I'm going to change it because I have one ready.
Yeah, you had it at number 1 fantasy. And
I did? Okay, so
I had it at number 3 fantasy.
Cool. All right, so we'll scratch it. It's amazing. It is the definitive adventure, but I'm going to scratch that one and call an audible on the adventure movie that kind of You can argue this defined adventure films for our generation, Jake. It put us through the most grueling, heartbreaking hour and 6 minutes of our lives.
Hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah. So my new number 5 is going to be The Land Before Time.
Oh, okay.
Because Littlefoot's adventure to try and find the Great Valley after watching his mom sacrifice herself to the sharp tooth. And he has to like round up these other lost children and make it to the Great Valley on nothing other than just faith and like, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I really did think about this movie, and it was like, I think I saw Land Before the Time before I saw any other straight adventure film. But because of Land Before Time, I think it helped me be able to handle all the traumatic scenes and elements that happen in other movies as I grew up.
Because you were jaded at a young age.
Because I was jaded at such a young age, watching Littlefoot's mom die.
Yeah, we all were.
Which, her death is way more affecting than like Bambi's mom. Because Bambi's mom they stopped drawing her.
Right.
You actually watch Littlefoot's mom die in front of him,
and desperately try to tell him what you need to do to survive.
Right. She's like,
you need to make it to the valley.
Yeah. So Land Before Time is just, it is, and I did rewatch it too. I was talking to my daughter about it, and I was like, dude, Land Before Time is unreal. How good. Like, it has no business for an animated film from like 1988 to be that freaking good. Like,
and to be an hour long. Like, if you told me movie was an hour and 48 minutes, I would believe you.
It's an hour.
But it's an hour and 9 minutes on IMDb.
I was 3 minutes off.
Yeah, it might as well be an hour at this point. It's a show.
Dude, it is. Rewatch it. Like, no joke. Rewatch it. When it ends, you're going to sit there and be like, what the heck? Like,
yeah.
It's too good. It's just too good.
That's fantastic. I love that you went back to the beginning with that choice.
Yeah.
And I love the audible too. Good choice. My number 4 is a movie that I do not believe I've ever had on a top 10 list, even though it's one we've talked about a lot. Yeah, I know you had it on a top 10 scores very high. It was also on your top 10 all time. I have, the closest I've come, I had one character as my number 1 femme fatale. But my number 4 adventure movie is Inception.
Okay. I was like, where are you going with this?
I'm all over the place. Scores and all time.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, Jake's forcing me to connect dots that my brain just does not want to right now.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the last 5 years of this show.
Dude, Inception's so good.
Inception is I think just one of the most incredible adventures because it has all of the elements that I need. It has the mystery of the unknown, going into a completely new world where the rules don't apply anymore and physics doesn't apply anymore and dreams are real and all of that stuff is so incredibly fanciful. But presented in a way that's very believable and you're invested immediately and it's very, very exciting. But the thing about Inception is that all of the details of the world feel so real, but also feel like they're in a dream. Like it's the first example that I can think of where Christopher Nolan has described with Tenet that so if the more you like think about it, the less it makes sense. It doesn't have to make sense because obviously you can get away with more by saying, well, they're in a dream and you can explain away a lot of stuff. But also what matters more is that you feel it. And that's what he says is that you don't think about it, just feel it. And as you're watching the movie, just let it wash over you. And the ride that you go on feels right. Like it feels like that makes sense. It feels real. And that's what matters in the end. And that's kind of how he tricks you into getting it without getting it kind of thing. He does just so many different things with the story, but also keeps it true to the core elements of an adventure that you need from the outset of being called into this world for Ellen Page's character. What's her name? Ariadne. She needing to learn about all of this stuff very, very quickly, but also kind of getting it very quickly is very cool. But then, as they need to form essentially a heist in this bizarre world, but collect all of the planning stage pieces together and make sure that it actually works out. It's feels more adventure-y to me than like a heist movie does, which is, I think, very interesting. I think it leans on the adventure side, even though it's passing itself off as a heist, which is interesting, I think. So and I think that's the thing. It doesn't really feel like a sci-fi movie, even though it definitely is a sci-fi movie, and it doesn't really feel like a fantasy movie, even though you're inside of dreams, and that's weird. And so it is a unique and exhilarating adventure movie, the most out of anything, I think, to me.
Yeah, it's Inception's such a, as you were talking, I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, it's definitely an adventure, because they have to travel, like, I mean, through the different layers of dreams. They have to travel through all that. And then Inception has that added last, like, kind of concluding adventure, which is the journey back, which is something some adventure movies don't necessarily worry, or stories worry about so much as the journey back. But Inception is all about getting back. And I think it's interesting, as you were talking about it, like being a heist film, but like it is. But at the same time, I was thinking about it, I was like, a lot of the time in an adventure movie, it's solving a riddle of some kind or a puzzle of some kind, trying to solve a clue.
Yeah,
Inception does that, but in like kind of a reverse way, where they're kind of setting the clues themselves instead of having to solve it. So it's like Nolan and his reverse engineering of movie making is it will never not blow my mind.
Yeah, and it's so exciting having the constant threat of this outside force that could come in with who can completely ruin their plans, and then also the risk of this bottom level that they could fall into. They could fall into this pit of hell and never get out of it.
Yeah.
And that's a threat through the whole movie, but then also when it happens, needing to journey back. Yeah, I think that's a great point, that it's not just about the destination that they need to get to. It's about an action they need to accomplish and then make it back safely. Otherwise, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic, that's a great pick. That's a really good pick.
Thank you.
The moment you said Inception, my brain was like, dream levels returning. Oh yeah, that's adventure. Like there's a lot of, one-liners throughout the movie. There's, I think it's only missing the horror element, but actually you could argue,
I remember being
like at the end as the horror element. Yeah.
And just very scared of getting stuck in that, like, conscious, subconscious, whatever
purgatory
state,
or whatever it is. Yeah. Limbo.
Getting stuck in limbo is a very real and severe threat.
Yeah.
And all the different characters they meet along the way that they like interact with Michael Caine, and then they get Tom Hardy to join the team, and like it's just that sort of discovering of new element or new team members and things is very adventure-y, forming that group of adventurers.
Yeah. Good pick. Well, my number 4 is going to ride the coattails of my number 5, because this one ends up being the adventure of just trying to get back. And this was another film that had a huge impact on our childhood. And it's still regarded, you and I talk about it constantly, as it's still so much greater than everything we watch now, especially when it comes to CGI. Jurassic Park is...
Yeah. Yeah.
Like...
Jurassic Park, perfect movie.
Yeah. I don't know what to add on to it. I know we've talked about it in previous episodes and all that, but the adventure, one, it's like a survival adventure movie primarily, which is a fun aspect of the adventure genre, is survival. It helps that they're trying to not get eaten by giant mutated dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's not just the elements, but just like how at the start of the story, when you meet everyone, you know, we've talked, the adventure needs to change people through the course of the journey. You see everyone have to, like, no one gradually takes on a new role. Everyone is kind of forced, like, you are either going to do this or you're going to die. You are either going to care for children or the children and you are going to die. And it's like, but what I love about them being forced to make these choices is that none of them, like, it's all growth as they make it. So it's not like a choice are made and then it's like, oh, I regret doing that. Oh, I'm bummed out because I did that. But there's like actual kind of a strengthening in every character after they make these choices. Unless you get eaten by, you know, a velociraptor. That doesn't help you out. But that's counterproductive. But Jurassic Park, just trying to survive the island and to make it back from the theme park area to the helicopter is it is an adventure. And the fact that, like, some of it's in a Jeep, some of it's trying to just go from bunker to bunker, or actually having to trek across the whole island, like, it's just, I love Jurassic Park. It really is just so perfect. And the CGI is still the best CGI. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say also the journey just from getting to the island is an adventure as well.
Yeah.
Because they're, like you talked about how the adventure movies have to be enjoyable. Obviously, for the audience, the entire movie of Jurassic Park is enjoyable because even when it's very survival based and it's very dark and scary, it's fun for the audience to enjoy it. It's not fun for the characters at that time.
Yeah.
But I think the key to an adventure movie as well for me is that the characters have to want to be there generally. Like, they need, I guess, to put it in Joseph Campbell terms, that call to adventure has to be answered by the hero, and they have to want to go and step over that threshold, basically. That for the scientists, that they obviously want to go to the island, they want to find these dinosaurs, and it's very exciting and very thrilling and all this stuff. And then the rest of the movie is kind of more survival, and they want to get away. They want to get away to not be eaten, and that's good too. But it's not like a journey that you have to go on necessarily. It's not like a revenge movie, as kind of what I'm thinking of. That there are revenge movies that I would not say that journey is like an adventure necessarily, whereas all of Jurassic Park, I think, is definitely an adventure.
Yeah. Now I have the theme song stuck in my head.
I think everybody does. You can't mention Jurassic Park, and that's just synonymous. Just slowly, the strings come in.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3 was kind of a latecomer to my list because I hadn't thought of it, and I was trying to think of other, making sure I covered all my bases, making sure I covered all my genres, because like I mentioned, you can have adventure movies in pretty much every genre, and there's some I wasn't able to fit in, but then I thought of this movie and I was like, oh no, I need somewhere to go. And I started comparing it to my number 10. I was like, it's better than 10, it's better than 9, it's better than 8, and it snuck its way up my list. So my number 3 is Annihilation from 2018.
Okay.
It is one of the more.
That is an
Is that an
oddball.
adventure movie? Yeah. It's the least on brand adventure movies on my list for
Mm-hmm.
sure, but is the most my kind of adventure movie, I guess you could say.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah.
And so it's a very science fictiony, very horror-y film, and I really love it, and I really respect how big of a swing Annihilation is, particularly because it's not the kind of movie that ever would have been made
Mm-hmm.
without the success of Ex Machina, I think,
Yeah.
because Alex Garland wrote and directed Ex Machina, and it was huge, and rightfully so, because it's a fantastic movie. But then he made Annihilation right after, and it's very different, but also very, very good. The different parts of it, I think, are different in a way that not everybody will like or get. I'm not totally sure I get it, all of it still, but that's part of the adventure for me is when I watch this movie, there's more to uncover. There's more that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's more questions I have about the mystery or about the world. So if you haven't seen Annihilation, you should. I think it's a great movie that's worth watching. Um, it's about these. So Natalie Portman plays this scientist who also used to be in the army, and she gets called into this event that's happening in this coastal area where an asteroid crashed near this lighthouse on the coast. And then since then, it's been expanding this circle around it, this wall of shimmering color. They just call it the shimmer. And everything inside of that wall that's been expanding is being transformed or mutated or something. Like the plant life is changing, the animals are changing. They don't really know what's happening inside of this area. And so they're trying to send in scientists to figure it out. And they've already sent some, including her husband and other teams and stuff. And so she's kind of forms this girl squad of other girl scientist badasses with Tessa Thompson, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and others, and try to figure out what's going on. And it's very weird and very
It's very weird.
scary. It's very scary sometimes. I think the horror elements are very strong, but very cool. There's a bear scene with screaming that it will haunt you. Like it will stick with you for the rest of your life,
It
but in a
will
really
haunt you.
cool way. In a really cool way. It just does things that I've never seen before. And so the experience watching this movie is like an adventure to me as well, because you don't know what's going to happen
Mhm.
next. You don't know what kind of weird mutated animal is going to pop up and what that's going to mean. If it's just a deer and it's kind of beautiful, or is it a giant crocodile? I don't know what's going to happen. And that's really exciting. And then oh, I should mention that the asteroid is also fell to Earth and is somewhat related or entirely related to aliens. And so there's another very weird element, which is very exciting and very crazy. And the end of the movie is very crazy, and the whole story is very crazy, and you have to see it to believe it. This is the part where I'm like, I don't know if I could spoil it if I wanted to. I think I get it. I like it. I know I like it. That's so much of I know. I know I like
You're
this
good with
movie.
just, I enjoy it.
Yeah, kind of going back to the Christopher Nolan thing. I feel it and I like how it feels,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know that I understand all of it. Uh, it's a very cool movie. I really like Annihilation, and I hope that it finds a wider audience, even because it was critically acclaimed, but I don't think it was terribly successful, and I don't know
Yeah.
that many people talk about it or bother to go back to it these 7 years later. So if you like that sort of thing, it's kind of, I guess it's described online as Lovecraftian, as a
Yeah.
science fiction Lovecraftian horror movie, um, which is very interesting. So if you like that, you should check it out because it's really cool.
It has been a minute since I've watched it. Um, but yeah, the bear definitely sticks with you. Yeah.
And
Well,
I've seen people describe it as a movie that's about the human being's propensity for self-destruction, which I find fascinating in other areas as well. And I I get it in this, but you have to see the movie to know what we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my number 3 is a hard left turn from Annihilation. So
Okay. Wonderful.
no weird, I don't understand what's happening. Why is that bear screaming like a lady? Yeah. My number 3 is our crossover of Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Okay.
It's so high on my list because it's just the only way I can ever describe this movie to people is it is the most beautiful adventure film I think I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And it's not just because it's like aesthetically really pleasing. I mean, all the stuff that happens in the city, not that beautiful because it's like, you know, it's super entertaining and a lot of fun, especially when he's fantasizing this epic superhero showdown skating through the streets, all fighting over Lance Armstrong, or not Lance Armstrong, Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah.
But when he actually sets out on the adventure, it just becomes one of those movies where I don't know about you, Jake, but every time I watch it, and especially that first time I watched it, where it was like, are you like, is the movie talking to me personally of like, hey, maybe we should take a step, like take that first step, whatever you're kind of like afraid of, whatever you're kind of like only fantasizing about doing, what would happen if you actually took that step? Like, that's how the movie really felt and still feels to me, is it's such a personal movie where Walter Mitty really is kind of all of us, of just that, like, we all want to be that dude that takes that brave step, that does something that just is like awesome, but we only fantasize about it instead of actually doing it. So I think it's one of the most incredible adventure films, and to watch him go from, like you said, tight-fisted at the very beginning, you know, it starts off with him like overthinking sending a wink on Match.com.
Yeah.
And then I love how when he actually takes a step, it fails on him. I love that it starts off with that, and then he goes into like his routine. But by the time the movie concludes, he's like, he's loose, he's confident, he doesn't have to like, he's not concerned about overthinking certain things. He's just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to do it and roll with it. You know, if you can jump into a helicopter with a drunk pilot to go and get dropped off on a boat, like, I think you can do pretty much anything. But I just think that this movie, when like you really understand the adventure that you're on of growth, that's when the movie just takes on this whole nother level to me. And it does help that the music in the movie is incredible. And yeah, the scenery, him skateboarding down the mountainside is one of the, like, that's the shot to me. That's the shot to me, is him skateboarding down, because it's just so freeing. And it's just like, yeah, it is a movie that every time I watch it, I am just blown away. One, that it came from Ben Stiller. Two, it's a remake.
Yeah.
And three, that it's just like, it's another one of those movies that just, it's so perfect to me, exactly how it is. And then the snow leopard scene is one of the greatest. Like, I'm not the biggest Sean Penn fan, but that scene is like, this is the only people that have seen the movie will get this, but I'm like, that scene is the quintessence of life. Like, his line about the leopard, or him taking a photo of the leopard, is like, oh, that's what it's okay. I won't spoil it, folks. Just watch the movie, because it's such a beautiful scene. But yeah, Secret Life is just, it is an incredible film. Absolutely incredible. So it's so high on my list.
Yeah, that's totally fair. It's, as you were talking about it, I was thinking about it and thinking about what you were talking about as well. And I love the journey he takes and how it transformed him. I think that's all beautiful. But it's beautiful in like an idealistic way that I think we all want, but any journey that we would go on really could never live up to the magic of that.
Well, I'm not
So
saying
it's-
like a literal you're going to go to Iceland and skateboard
Yeah.
down or.
But it's still so inspiring, even though I know that if I did take a trip and I did try to do these things, it would not be as like flawless. And maybe that's the feel good part of the movie. That's like, I could just put it on and have this wonderful experience, which is really cool. But the movie from a movie and a story and a writing side is also really, really brilliant, because I was watching the trailer as you were talking and it just kind of struck home to me just now. I didn't even think about it, how brilliant it is for him to work at Life magazine as his job, because number one, the magazine is ending because magazines are not functional in society anymore. But also at a larger thematic level, life doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
And so you really need to get off your butt and do stuff, which is very good. He also works in the film department, where his whole job is just seeing the most beautiful parts of life from this impersonal distance, that he's in this dark room and he's not actually ever living it. He's just seeing other people living their lives and putting it on a cover of Life magazine. So he works at a magazine about life, doesn't actually live it. And I think just there's a word for it, but that juxtaposition or that relationship between, I guess, the ironicness of that, I guess, is very, very interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's it's inspiring, I think, in the sense that you don't have to do any of those really crazy things. You don't have to climb Everest. You don't have to jump out of helicopters and bomb mountains and stuff. But you do need to get out of the house and touch grass, as they say.
Well,
to live life.
Yeah. And I just, for whatever reason, it just wasn't coming to mind earlier, but the movie itself, whether you take it as like a literal, I have to go take this huge world trip. No, truly the movie just comes down to like, there is hope in taking that step. I think that's the brilliance of this movie. Is it is one of the very few movies that genuinely just gives you hope and just makes you just like, yeah, you feel great after you watch it, because it fills you quietly and kind of like slowly with hope, because it's not a very fast movie. It's very patient. It's kind of a quiet movie, honestly, but yeah, it's got so much hope in it. And yeah, everything you just said with him working at Life and the magazine's ending, and he's like, his career is spent in a dark room. Yeah, it's incredible. And also, I don't know about you, but I have always been curious to try the Clementine cake, because I've never seen a movie or ever heard of Clementine cake, but it's so specific that I'm like, this must be a favorite of Ben Stiller's. This has to be like someone's actual favorite cake. So now I want to try it.
Yeah, I've never seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
You could probably Google a recipe, I guess.
I might.
All right. My number 2 is the movie that is potentially the most obvious on my list. I think for that reason, it's the movie that made me pull off the Lord of the Rings from my list, because I couldn't have too many obvious cliche adventure movies on my list. It's also the movie that made me not feel bad about not having Star Wars on my list, because it's in the same vein as far as its impact on me as a child and the adventure in movies, and it's the movie that when you think of adventure movies, you think of Indiana Jones. Like it's so obvious, it has to be there.
Yeah.
But it's also the kind of movie that I don't feel obligated to have it on there. It has to be there, because it is the most adventure-y movie that I could think of. It's the first movie I think of. It's the first character you think of. Like, this is an adventurer. This is everything that goes into that. So can't have an adventure movie list without Indiana Jones.
Yep, it's true.
And
you're talking specifically Crystal Skull, right? Like, we all know that's your absolute favorite. So you're specifically.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare get out of here with that. No, I guess I'm talking specifically about Raiders. I think. Raiders of the Lost Ark, because even though I would say, and I think
you
you
can
agree,
say
we've talked
the
about
trilogy.
this before.
You can say the trilogy.
No, I think I'm specifically talking about Raiders
Okay.
just because of the adventure element in the story and the impact of adventure, its impact on me as a kid
Hmm.
watching this movie and realizing what adventure movies can be like and what movies in general can be like. It comes down to Raiders for me.
Okay.
As a movie as a whole, I enjoy Last Crusade the most, but Raiders is right up there. But Raiders, from this opening scene, seeing the jungle,
Hmm.
seeing the credits, seeing the tomb and the boulder chase and all of that stuff to the very end and melting Nazi faces is like the definition of an adventure movie to me, and is so hugely impactful to me just from the very beginning. It's like it's this and it's the first Star Wars movie. That's like I remember watching these movies nonstop, constantly, and being transported into that world and feeling all of the things you're supposed to feel, feeling the excitement, feeling the whirlwind romance, even though I was like 7 or whatever. Like this just the most exciting thing that I'd ever seen. And it continues to be to this day.
Yeah.
Like I can put on Raiders and I'm just locked right back in there. Like I'm sitting on the floor in my parents' house again. So he's the quintessential adventurer Indiana Jones is. And and all of the movies are great. And all of the movies are great adventures in themselves. But but I think that's why I had to put Raiders here for me. That it's the most iconic, it's the most everything. And so that's what made it have to be on the list for me.
Hmm.
And another thing I noticed about adventure movies, they need two things. They need a great score,
Yeah.
because all of the movies on my list pretty much have a phenomenal score of music. And then they also need romance. That's another, like, I've talked about the horror element and the mystery and all of that stuff. But romance, I think, is really critical to a great adventure movie. And maybe it's because romance itself is an adventure on its own,
Hmm.
that there's unknowns and scary parts and and you're not sure where it's going to go, just as far as the relationship itself and putting yourself out there and all that stuff. So to layer that on top of actual adventure with monsters and tombs and swords and stuff, it just makes it all the more exciting. And so I think when all of the best adventure movies have a really good romance element, um, and pretty much all the movies on my list as well are in that same vein. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I was looking back over my list and I was like, well, the only one that's not romance on mine would be Land Before Time, but every other pick, there is a romance element.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's like Little Miss Sunshine, where the mom and dad are trying to rekindle a romance, or
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I like that pick. That's a good pick. Well, my number two. See, my number one and my number two, I am like, these are probably the most obvious, and I have no shame saying these at all,
Mm-hmm.
because they're the best ever. But my number two, both of them actually, two and one, are, again, like you did, harken back to the childhood of just like, oh, so this is what movies can be. This is what adventure is.
Mm-hmm.
My number two is one of those that did that for me, and it's the Back to the Future, the whole story. Like it's
Yeah.
one story, guys. It's just they had to split it up into three parts. It's one story. I cannot, and I think it's the only trilogy. No, I mean Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings, I always feel like I can put a little bit of space in between. But when I watch Back to the Future, it is like there's no question. It is no, all three back to back. There is no other. But
Well, it's because you can only do all three Lord of the Rings extended cuts back to back very rarely, maybe
rarely,
once in a few years, and
Right.
survive it. That's an event. Like
That is.
that's a dare.
You
Like
have to plan that.
yeah, that's a dare that you have to try to get through. Back to the Future is just a fun afternoon.
Yeah. And it really is. You know you had the same experience where just watching this story that first time as a kid where you were just like, there's time travel, there like that's the adventure is this whole traveling. He's gonna see his mom and dad when they were in high school. He's in high school. He's gotta
Yeah.
save them and protect time and then make it back, and then he's gotta go
Protect his
again.
own
And
existence.
it's just there is not one bad thing in the whole story. It is just so well made, so magical. Like Back to the Future really is movie magic. Just the giant spectacle, the joy that comes from watching it, just you brought up Star Wars New Hope. I actually think Back to the Future blew my mind more than Star Wars did when I was a
Yeah.
kid. And I think it had a lot to do with just the enjoyability of it, like because it is constant throughout the whole trilogy. So yeah, Back to the Future is just it's one of the greatest adventure stories ever told, and it's like a cool modernized version of it, 80s style. And I'm still waiting for Jaws 25 to come out. So
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it had to be my number 2. It's too good. It's too perfect.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those movies that will continue to hold up for all time. And I hope future generations keep discovering it because it's so, so fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Man,
My
number
number one favorite adventure movie. I'm going to tie it all the way back to that first episode because my number one has not changed. My number one is The Edge.
Yep.
I debated it. I debated it very heavily. I compared it and weighed it against all of the other options because I was like, is it really? Was I being silly? No, I really think that The Edge for me is my favorite adventure movie, mostly because survival movies are the greatest adventure to me. Like the being dropped in the woods and needing to survive and needing to eat and needing to like there's so many things in our lives that we take for granted that if you had to figure out how to do that tomorrow from scratch, you'd have no idea.
Yeah.
Like if I don't have a fridge full of food, what do you do? If the power goes out, what do you like and isn't going to come back on again, what do you do? If it's cold outside, what are you going to do? And all of these super simple things that you don't think about because you don't have to. But if you did suddenly had to, if your plane crashed and now you're in the woods, A, can you figure it out because you've actually paid attention to this point and actually prepared for that situation like Charles has? Charles is fantastic because it's not often that you see a rich protagonist who's the good guy. Like usually the rich guy is the bad guy. And Charles is great because he's rich, but he also still pays attention. He educates himself. He reads a lot. He knows theoretically how to do a lot of things, but he's never really had to do them. And so when he's dropped in the situation, he sees it. His mental state is strong, and I think that's why it's very good and exciting and encouraging because he sees it as an opportunity to try the things that he's always read about to see if it will actually work in practice or not. And so he is very encouraging to the people around him who are weak in mindset, that are very doubtful and worried and, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive kind of people. The mantra of the movie is that one man can do, another can do. And so people have done this. People have figured it out. People have survived. If they've done it, you can do it. You have everything inside of you to accomplish this goal as well. And that's very, very exciting. And so the journey of the movie, the adventure of the movie is really just that. It's just going on a simple plane ride and crashing and needing to get home. But you're not where no one's coming to save you because you're not where you thought you were supposed to be. And you don't have anything but your wits to protect you, basically. And a bear is chasing you. And it's just it's a very exciting story. and I think there's so many life lessons through it as well. And then maybe that's the dad in me that I'm like, this is not just an exciting action adventure movie. It's like, no, there's a serious, like, everything you need to know about how to live your life can be found in The Edge, I think.
Your boys have no clue what's coming their way.
No, they're going to do what I did. You're going to reach Hatchet in elementary school and be like, I don't know what this means, and I don't know why this kid's parents are divorced, but I know that it's cool that he's built a gate to a cave and was able to survive the cold. And then you're going to graduate to watching The Edge.
You're going to watch The Edge, and then we're going to do pop quizzes on how to survive.
Yeah.
According to The Edge.
Yeah. Right. And you just get to learn the difference between, like, actually leading these people, leadership, and pride. Like, the Alec Baldwin's character is very prideful and demanding of things, whereas Anthony Hopkins' character Charles is very calm and reserved, and it's like, just, this is what we need to do, guys. We can do this. We can, like, don't give up. And their whole discussion about shame in the movie, and how shame is what will ultimately kill you, is so interesting as well. So I love The Edge. I think that it's the kind of movie that it doesn't seem like we get anymore either. I think that it is maybe not a product of its time necessarily, that it's 1997, but it's the kind of movie that I wish we still got, and we have to go back to 1997 to get these kind of great stories and very exciting movies.
Essentially, are you noticing our final top 10s this whole year have all been like, can we get back to this kind of filmmaking? Can we get back to these kinds of stories?
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, I wondered if you were going to have The Edge, because I know how much that movie means to you and how big of a fan you are of it. So I'm not shocked that you harken back. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I'm glad you didn't shortchange it on a technicality, because I did not shortchange mine on technicalities either. So when I was telling my daughter about, hey, Jake and I are going to do our top 10 adventure movies, she laughed, and her only response was, so Indiana Jones? And I was like, yeah. She was like, he's your number one, right? Like, it's like, yeah. She goes, are you doing the trilogy, or are you going to do the Holy Grail? And it was like, the Holy Grail's, like, if I have to pick one specifically, it's The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
But it works as Raiders and Temple and Crusade. But Last Crusade specifically, everything you said about Raiders is spot on and exactly right when it comes to Raiders. There was just something about Last Crusade. And even these days, I am not sure what it is about The Last Crusade that just, like, grabbed a hold of me and makes it the most exciting, most enjoyable, fun, like, adventure ever. And you're right. When you hear adventure movies, Indiana Jones is the only character that pops up in anyone's head. And if he's not the first and only one, then you haven't watched enough movies, guys.
You haven't watched Indiana Jones.
Right. It is amazing to me. It was funny when you were talking about Raiders, I thought of it and I was like, oh my gosh. No wonder a lot of our lists require, like, some kind of journey through forests or through, like, foreign lands or whatever, because I was like, our whole basis for an adventure started with that first shot in Raiders, or it started with, dinosaurs. Like,
or it just requires that map overlay with the plane flying and the red line behind it as it's going like, from place to place.
This is what actually defined adventure for us. No wonder we're pretty, like, no wonder you overthought how to define adventure, because it was already defined for us so long ago
Yeah.
that trying to like add any definition to it seems almost wrong or difficult, or trying to simplify it even more is difficult. So it is amazing to me how this adventurer, who's actually a professor, just set like the standard. And hate to break it to you, Hollywood, no one has even been able to like, you just can't match it. You just can't meet that standard. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. So yeah, Indiana Jones is just, you don't get better. You just don't.
You said you're not sure what it is that 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 grabbed you as a kid with Last Crusade. I wonder if it's a more complete adventure, because I think this might be true for me. I just started thinking about it. It might be a more complete adventure in the sense that it starts with him as a kid, and he's in the Boy Scouts, and he's on the train, and he's doing all that stuff, and then grows up to be an adventurer because of his experiences and all that stuff. And then kind of all of the different places they go and the people they meet and stuff is kind of more enjoyable in Last Crusade, I think. But I mean, it's so similar. It's just, I'm trying to like compare them in my mind as I'm talking about it. Like obviously the Nazi element is there, and you have the femme fatales there, but I think that the desert scenes in Last Crusade are more fun than the desert scenes in Raiders or the market scene. And like, I love the market scene, and I love the airplane fist fight, and I loved all the stuff from Raiders, but maybe it's Sean Connery having the dad element.
Maybe it's the dad element. I don't know what it is. I will say,
I also think it's the journal that you're following these clues and trying to figure out what it means when the penitent man shall pass, and then learning it and all of that stuff. Like piecing those clues together is much more obvious or well done in Last Crusade than it is in Raiders.
Maybe. Yeah, I've never been able to like fully pinpoint it, but you know, when I watched the trilogy again for this, Raiders is so exciting. It's so good.
Yeah.
And Temple, like, once you get over that first viewing of like, you're shocked and horrified that they're doing this, it's also so much fun. You know, I still get a big kick watching the guys fall into the crocodiles and get torn up. I love I actually think I love the misplacement of screaming as the crocs are tearing apart just fabric, but you hear guys screaming in pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, Last Crusade, maybe you're right. Maybe it's because it shows him as a kid. It has like the most perfect transition shot of the hat going on his head and then him looking up in the rain.
Yeah. It's like donning the persona.
Right. I still think like the last line is still hilarious. You know, he's like, "Follow me, I know the way." He got lost in his own museum. Yep. Like, I love that. Yeah, it's the perfect adventure with the clues, all the different places they have to meet, all the people that they interact with. I will say the tank fight scene is still one of the coolest fight scenes ever. Just the choreography with like the whip and how they're hitting each other, the accidental hits, the purposeful hits, like
the stunts in that scene. Every time I see someone like see him riding the horse and going up and jumping off the horse to the tank and being dragged under stuff. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Adventure movies are so much fun. Like, they are so much fun, and there are so many of them out there.
Right.
Not new,
it's a very,
but
very dense genre. Well, you get new ones like, I'm trying to think. There's that one that's a remake. Not really a remake. It's an adaptation of the video game.
Oh, Ready Player One?
No, I'm thinking of the Nathan Drake. What's that game called with Nathan Drake that has
Drake? Who the heck is Nathan
the spider? That's the name of a character
Oh.
in a game that I never played, but I heard the name of.
Oh. Oh.
Uncharted.
Yeah. That movie was
Uncharted with
lame, dude.
yeah. Like that's the kind of movie that I think Hollywood wants to be like Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's not.
Yeah, that movie was lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think you and I have talked about this with I think every genre now, where Hollywood just seems to be like overreaching or overthinking how to do this stuff, or they're so concerned about like perfecting a formula for it or whatever. And it's really just like, man, just revisit some of these stories and just look at how the audience reacted to this stuff. There's like a care to the storytelling. There's a very fun element to it, and there's actually kind of a simplicity to it with a little bit of spectacle. Just go to that. Like I really genuinely I think the box office problems could be solved so quickly if one, everything did not just hit streaming constantly, because it's an overload. Like,
yeah.
To the point where I'm kind of shocked actors are even still bothering to do stuff, because it's like, who the heck is actually going to watch what we just made?
Yeah.
So I think the streaming stuff needs to kind of be reined in a lot. And yeah, just go back to the spectacle, the fun. Like, people flock to that stuff. Bring that back. People will enjoy it. People will love it. So I think it would actually be an easy fix, but Hollywood's just got to get their heads out of their butts. So
good luck with that.
Yeah.
All right, time for some honorable mentions.
Yeah, what are some honorables for you?
So I mentioned I tried to fit in all of the genres that filled the adventure space. Westerns is one that I could not fit into the list. And I was looking through all of the Westerns I would want to do. And it probably would fall to one that was not on a previous top 10 list. So I would normally say like Silverado, but I know that was really high on my Western list.
Yeah, that was on a list.
So for my honorable mention, I was going to say The Searchers. Like I think I talked about it in depth. The reason it didn't make the list, I talked about it quite a bit when we did our top 10 directors episode, because it was one that I didn't know, I didn't love from John Ford, but I hadn't seen it in ages, and I rewatched it and I was like, oh my gosh, The Searchers is incredible. So, and another sort of journey story as they go and look for this girl. But The Searchers from 1956 is just way better than any movie I've ever seen from 1956. It feels like it's from the 70s or later. It's just an unbelievably good movie. The Fall from 2006, which not a lot of people have seen, not a lot of people were able to see because it went out of print. It wasn't on any streaming for the longest time. It wasn't rentable anywhere, but I think they recently did a remastered version with some extra footage, and so you can you can stream it now. You can rent it online now. The Fall has some of them. Yeah. The Fall has some of the most visually incredible images and very unique fantasy elements, very stunning visuals in this adventure movie. It's definitely a unique, I think it's like maybe cult classic status, but you should definitely check it out just for the visuals alone. It will stick in your memory as a beautiful and very different kind of movie. And then I wondered if you considered this movie or trilogy of movies The Armor of God with Jackie Chan.
I don't think I've seen those.
Oh, you're going to like the Armor of God movies.
Okay.
So it's a fun series. Operation Condor is the sequel, and then he did.
I've seen Operation Condor.
Okay. It's the same sort of thing. And then Chinese Zodiac he did in 2012, I think.
Okay.
But Armor of God is like it's basically like if Indiana Jones or Lara Croft knew Kung Fu, and if it was a much more silly 80s Chinese movie. So they like have these three different artifacts of armor that this collector has, and they need to use it to try to get this girl back and to like trade for this other guy, and then they end up falling into a bunch of trouble, and it's a pretty wild and wacky adventure, but in the way that Jackie Chan movies can only be. Um, I love when Jackie Chan movies, when his character is called Jackie and they just call him Jackie the whole movie. It's very easy to follow and very fun, I think. I laughed because as soon as I finished Armor of God, I watched Operation Condor, and it's been a long time since I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just chuckled to myself because the opening is a lot like Raiders of the Lost Ark in the sense that it meets this like tribe of people and is trying to take this thing out of their cave, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I won't take it." And then like, "No, go ahead." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And all this stuff. But then instead of being chased by a boulder, he gets inside of a Zorb. Like, do you remember Zorbs that are like those inflatable balls that you get inside of and run downhill in?
Yeah, that you can't get hurt in.
Yeah.
Or so they say.
It's Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan's Zorbing is essentially Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's wild.
That's awesome.
And then I considered two older movies from my childhood that I enjoyed thoroughly, and they're still really fun. So from 1956, there's a movie called The Court Jester with Danny Kaye.
Okay.
And a young Angela Lansbury. She's a princess. It's a very fun adventure, kind of similar to like Robin Hood in a lot of ways, because he needs to help the Black Fox get the rightful heir, who's an infant little baby, onto the throne and replace this tyrant king that's there. But he like infiltrates this castle, and then there's like a witch that uses this potion on him so that he kind of can transform at the snap of some fingers to being like his own like blustery, bumbly Danny Kaye self, to being like confident and adventurous hero guy. And there's a lot of great gags and sets and stuff that goes on in that movie. I watched it so many times as a kid, and it's really fun. And then another one would be the Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court from 1949, where Bing Crosby, it's actually based on a novel by Mark Twain, and there's a bunch of different remakes and adaptations of it. But the Bing Crosby version from 1949 is the one I watched a lot, and he plays a singing mechanic from 1912 that finds himself magically transported back to King Arthur times.
Okay.
And has to like learn how to survive there and get back home and all that stuff. So it's a fun fish out of water kind of adventure.
Kind of sounds like a Kid in King Arthur's Court.
I think that's the same sort of thing. Yeah, one of the other more modern adaptations, Black Knight with
Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
Same sort of thing.
All right. I'm like, you were talking, and I'm looking at my movies like, I feel like I forgot a bunch, and now I'm going to feel like a fool.
Like a fool.
All right. My honorables, a few. I don't think I have as many as you did, but I gotta go with the classic. This was like the only one from that first episode ever that I did not have back on this list. It just it got bumped because after I revisited like African Queen and Love of Monsters, I was just kind of like, oh, buddy, sorry, I already have, one movie that tears your heart out. I don't want to have two of them. So Dragonheart would be an honorable mention.
Yep.
Which has all the elements that you mentioned. It's got an incredible score. It's got like the full adventure. It's got, the horror element just with the shared heart stuff. And then it's got a little bit of a romance, like kind of a hint. Will they, won't they kind of romancy stuff. And then I got heavy into childhood stuff on this list, which was a lot of fun for me. But I rewatched The Page Master with Macaulay Culkin.
Okay.
Do you remember that one? Folks.
Only vaguely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please revisit this movie. You will be like, this is fantastic. This is a great movie. It literally is. It tells you all the elements of how an adventure goes. So it's just classic. So good. So good. And then I couldn't help it. Like, I know it gets ragged on a lot, but
Mhm.
this movie is, you can't deny the enjoyability of it, even if it's so ridiculous. But National Treasure
Yeah.
is a great adventure story,
Yeah.
slash heist film. But it's just, it's stuff like that. It just goes right back to the, let's just make something that's fun. Let's just make sure that it's enjoyable. Um,
Right. Yeah, it feels like everybody, even at the time in the early 2000s, knew that it was silly. And there was, I think, started to be that, should we be liking this? And everybody's collectively like, shut up.
right. Like, shut your
We
face.
like this.
We enjoy
It's
this.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it is. It's just very enjoyable. And then I absolutely love The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. So the first
Mm.
Narnia story, because that's also a great adventure. And the books are
Yeah.
amazing. I'm
Yeah.
very apprehensive on what Barbie director is going to do, but oh well.
Yes.
Um, and I think that's all I got right now. I mean, the ones that you mentioned on your list that are not on mine, those all count as well. I do
Yeah.
have one more because it was overlooked like crazy, and it is, I miss Tall Tales. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but I kind of miss, like, when we were growing up, we grew up knowing these tall tales or these fairy tales, very specific ones, and like no one knows about them anymore. But Jack the Giant Slayer, it came out a few years ago, like 7 years ago, maybe. That is a
Okay.
great one. Super cheese
Oh,
ball. Like, it's not supposed to be amazing, but it is so much fun. 2013.
okay.
So, oh, like 13 years ago.
12 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Nicholas Holt.
Huh.
Very
Yeah.
enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. Just the whole adventure that Jack goes on into the land of the giants and stuff. It's a blast. Yeah. I recommend you check that one out.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci, Ewan McGregor, Ian McShane. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this movie.
See? See?
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about the movie Tall Tales from 1995
Yes. I
with Pecos Bill and Paul Bunyan and John Henry and
yeah.
all of those great
I
American
kind of
tall
want to
tale
rewatch
characters.
that one. Dude, there was some
I didn't even know Patrick Swayze was in it. Like I didn't know who Patrick Swayze was when
back
I
then,
saw
yeah.
it. Yeah.
But that,
That's
like,
crazy.
man, I wonder if it's
Catherine O'Hara's Calamity Jane. I need to rewatch this movie.
I like that you and I are both collectively like, oh, dude, it's streaming on Disney Plus.
Scott Glenn.
Nuh-uh.
Okay. Yeah, he's J.P. Styles, whoever that was. I don't remember. I just remember Pecos Bill and John Henry and Paul Bunyan. Yeah, I need to rewatch.
I need to rewatch this one too.
It's in that same vein of like fantastic adventure movies you watched as a kid.
Yeah.
From the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I think I know what I'm watching tonight. Oh, dude, Tom and Huck. You remember that one with Jonathan
I just scrolled to the bottom of the Tall Tale page and saw Tom and Huck, yes. Yes, I did. I love that movie too. I remember seeing that in the theater when I was a kid and coming out, and I was like, well, I think I saw it with a friend, and I was like, well, we got to go build a raft now.
Right? All right. I can't believe neither of us at least mentioned this one, dude. We can't have this list and not have this.
Okay.
Homeward Bound.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I didn't even consider it because I was thinking human adventures, not animal adventures.
True. I just saw it because like I just scrolling saw the poster and was like, oh my gosh, Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
We have a lot of honorables, but that's okay. Dude, I really want to watch this now. Like, I'm telling you, this episode really made me want to tap back into like childhood nostalgia, and I'm a sucker for it.
Right. Oh, it feels good, man.
Oliver Platt as Paul Bunyan. That is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember him in that role, but it worked. I'm sure that it worked in the movie.
Dude, I can't wait to see like the terrible 1995 Disney CGI in this movie.
Right.
Oh,
I know. I remember him lassoing a tornado.
yep.
And I'm like, that was the coolest thing. And it might look like shit. I don't know.
I'm going to find out because I'm going to watch this at some point.
That's awesome. So there you go. Top 10 adventure movies.
Bam.
Check it off the list. Finally done.
We did it. We did it.
So we're coming up on it. We got 2 more episodes left after this one.
Yep.
The next episode is our Festivus special, where we're going to get a little bit grumpy and start complaining just about movie pet peeves as it pertains to the industry and story tropes and all the stuff. But we're going to put our best Grinch hats on and complain about movie-related pet peeves. And then it's the last episode ever.
I know.
And it's the end of the year.
It's a little
and
weird.
We get to find out who wins the movie draft. And, and we're also doing our top 10 endings appropriately.
Yep.
So the best movie endings of all time and the best podcast ending of all time. Just unequivocally, don't even bother.
Yeah. Don't argue, guys. You know it'll be amazing. Yeah. Yeah, this was great.
So yeah, that was great. Anything else we need to do?
I don't think so. What about
I
you?
don't think so either. Thank you.
That's it.
I don't think so.
Tell
you
us
can
your
let us
top
know what adventures. Movies.
Yeah.
Yes. Please engage with us and tell us what you like and what we forgot, because I'm sure there's something
There's
great
so many.
that is personal to you that you love and why you love that adventure more than anything else. I would love to hear that kind of stuff. So yeah, hit us up on Instagram. We're happy to chat movies.
Definitely. All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.